The thing that attracted me the most to the NAAP model that made me want to take more action was the power of empowering myself and other people. That it stood alone, and I knew that as I learned it, that I could do it for myself. That it wasn't something that I'd have to continue to go to a facilitator for. That it was looking within myself to make changes, not looking to something to change me.
How I would describe it is a way of being proactive with your mind and working with whatever things during the day that I used to call them triggers, whatever comes up that is something that actually keeps you away from what you want in life. And this helps you to separate those things out and really be able to go and live in the free state, the free flow of thinking, which isn't confined. It totally frees your mind up.
So many courses, it's like after you do this and you do this and you do this and this, then you can make it to here. But what if it's just one thing that changes it for you? One thing. And I feel like it changed it for me, so I know it changed it for anybody and everybody who's willing and wanting to learn.
I recognized I was repeating patterns and was in a cycle that I didn't like. And to the point where I was angry. I was angry and I was so sick and tired of repeating these patterns that I was ready for, it's like I just wanted out. No matter what, I wanted a solution that I wanted out.
One of the things in the long intensive day thing that I remember writing down when you want us to put, the word that came was freedom. I wanted freedom from the bondage that I felt of being not able to move forward. And now that's, I think, what I've gotten.
Didn't know what was going to happen. It seemed like no matter what I tried, I always tried goals, I always tried so many things, so many avenues. That's why I think when things popped up in the session, I was like, I knew that one, I knew that one, I knew that one. But again, I didn't know how to put them together. But, you know, in one place for it to really work and have an effect that stayed. That, you know, it wasn't just for a week you felt this way, you know, it was an actual change of your mind.
I have tried and tried and tried, and I knew where I wanted to be, but I seriously didn't know how to get there. I didn't know how. Even though I had tried many modalities, I just didn't know how.
For me, the brain is such a big deal to me. I would be like, you want to turn on those areas of your brain that are not turned on, because otherwise you're living with your brain getting turned off, and if you stay there, eventually dying. You know what I mean? Corroding. And so who wants to live knowing that dementia or whatever is in their future? It's like, get those brain on, get your brain, all the areas of your brain functioning. That to me is one of the biggest. I want my brain to function to its full capacity. I want to be creative. I want to use my imagination moving forward.
And you feel like no matter what you do, nothing is ever going to change, and you're never going to ever have anything that you wanted out of life. And that's just not true. Because if you can change your mind, you change everything.
A lot of things I'm overcoming, and I'm coming to a new realization of how much it's just empowering. Like, it's very empowering that I can take control of my life and I can make the changes and I can get clarity. And then the best part of it is then turning around and recognizing that how much you can help other people, especially your family.
What I experienced in those sessions was powerful enough to make me continue to want more. And it helped me in a way of having tools that would help me every day of my life. So, and not only the tools, but the recognition. So I know when it's like I recognize when I'm going down a path I don't want to go down. So now I feel like I can control that path a little bit more, where I can flip out of it or switch out of it.
The other thing that I think has changed is clarity, but clarity in a way of seeing where I am sabotaging and how I'm holding myself back. It excited me to know, like, if I can change here and I'm seeing the clarity of this, what's coming is huge, you know, and that excited me.
I've seen a lot of things change. Like after my clarity session, I had an incredible release, or I was able to let go. I just felt this And I don't even know if you want to call it forgiveness, but this whole process of just these angry feelings that were just confining to me in a relationship, they just disappeared within me. It's like I notice my wording with my kids. I notice when to kind of lay back. I also notice when it's my own issue, it's not even theirs. You know, I think that's the biggest part and that's how it was that weekend too. It's like I could just see, this is all me. This is coming from my stuff, if you want to call it that. And it had nothing to do with anyone out there.
Those shifts are the difference that I see within that time frame. Because I did not, before the 30 days, feel that about myself at all. I do not at all feel like I am the person I thought was before. Looking at pictures or what other people used to say about my looks, I don't feel that anymore. I feel like I am a beautiful person. I know that now and I feel it inside, and I know it's just gonna keep getting better.
And as I recognize that my ultimate goal is freedom in just about every aspect of life, then it made all kinds of sense why I've loved NAAP from the start, is because it's all about freedom versus confinement. And for me, that was just rang true in a huge, huge way, because my life has always, my desire has always been to have that freedom. My level of ability to achieve that freedom has been what's restricted me. And learning how to break out of confinement to truly find that freedom is the greatest blessing of the NAAP for me.
I had a shift, and you said some things in that course that changed my belief system and set me free. And I went home and I cried, and I told my husband, I said, I feel, just by this bit of knowledge, I said, I feel so free. And I cried because of joy, not because of stress. And like, I kept doing the things that I thought would work, and instead of having it actually work for me, I just kept feeling like I was going in a circle and spinning. And I just said, I don't want to do that anymore. And after you told me and you gave me that information, I applied it, and it set me free.
How I interact, especially with my family, and that I am not, I'm free from their maps and they're free from my maps.
Really, really digging deep into these things and trying to understand yourself and analyze yourself, you better understand why you keep your own self stuck and that it's not anybody else's fault. You have chosen to do that because of your background. And if you understand that, then you can see where you need to disconnect things when they come up, and then the things that you give us that helps us to disconnect in the moment we recognize it. It helps us to recognize those things and then move from the things we don't really want to do and be, and move into where we really want to be.
The other thing that really set me free was understanding that I'm not responsible, that I was taking on my children's, everything that was going on in pretty much, I think, so many people's lives, and I was taking responsibility that I wasn't doing a good enough job. I wasn't doing it right. And when you said that, it made so much sense to me that I'm really not. Like, I couldn't help the things in my maps that I had from early childhood, and that's what I was doing. And I didn't have to go there anymore to regret and remorse. Instead, I could just say, that was just a map. And my kids have maps, and I can change them.
So the ahas for me have been the moments where I've said, okay, now I know exactly what I've been doing and how to fix that so that I can help them ultimately obtain the freedom that I'm searching for.
For somebody who's thinking about going to a clarity session, I would say do it. First of all, I would say it's worth it. I mean, every penny, it's worth it because it's so life-changing. Like I said, it helps you see where you're at, that you own it. It's like you own your feelings, where they're coming from. You recognize that it's also just part of your foundational maps.
Just do it, because you will have the opportunity to make changes that otherwise I don't think you would have that opportunity to do. You will have the tools and the skills to move forward and make changes. And I'm the kind of person that I like to get somewhere fast. I've spent so many years trying, and it's like, I know I can do it, and I can move forward at a greater level with joy. And you will have truths that will serve you, that will serve your family. Everything is changing in my life, including my relationships with my children and my husband. And Lamont said that might happen. He said that might happen, and it did. And there's a huge change. It's big.
You're not walking in fear anymore. You're walking in proactive faith because you're doing everything that you can to change your mind. And your mind gets changed because you're working on it. And it shifts you from living in confined thinking you're always dictated to, because those thoughts are dictating to you in a way, but they don't get to dictate anymore. There is no dictator. It's you, and it's your life, and you get to have it and experience it and have joy.
Now I feel like I actually have the ammunition that I need to achieve those goals, and I am far less hesitant to believe that I can actually do anything that I want to do, that I can achieve things, you know, that seem outlandish, and I feel like they're not outlandish anymore.
And I was making progress. I make progress. It's something I want to do the rest of my life. I have a Franklin planner. Yes, I still use a Franklin. And I write in there, you know, my planning in solitude, but then I put fly. And I'm like, I'm going to fly every day.
If there was a button that you could push to take away it, no. I mean, yeah, you can see already, no, that's not okay. That button can't be pushed. Not for anything.